Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and if you are back, welcome back. Today I'm here with a WIP and Chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and chat stands for chat, so feel free to whip out your WIP and work alongside me. I'm going to be working on a diamond painting today, specifically my current cross-stitch conversion project, which I'll tell you all about in just a moment. But yeah, I'll just be chatting with you and kind of catching up on the week and what's been going on and all of that. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments just how your week has been and what you were working on while we hung out. Maybe you were doing chores, maybe you were crafting, maybe you were, I don't know, treating this like a podcast. But I really enjoy these weekly check-ins and just getting to come on and say hello to you guys and let you know just what's going on in life and whatnot. So, like I said, today I'm going to be working on my cross-stitch conversion project. I am in between WIPs at the moment, and I found some momentum with this project and thought, okay, let's get some good old time in on this one. So I do have a whole playlist dedicated to this project. It includes like the unboxing and some progress check-ins and stuff like that. That I'll link to that playlist below. But in short, this is a cross-stitch chart that I am taking and reading and converting to a diamond painting on a blank canvas. Now I'll show you the image. So you guys can see, let's see if we view the piece, there we go. So this is, sorry for that glare there for the moment. This is called Once Upon a Fairy Tale. The chart is from Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Amy Stewart. And so far, I've completed the top left shelf, and the panel that we're working on right now is the top right shelf. And you can see these books that are leaning right here. That's what we've got going on right here. So I split this project into eight panels in total to make it more manageable to work on because it's quite large. The finished design size is 750. This is stitches, 750 stitches by 536 stitches. You divide each of those numbers by 4 and you get the size in centimeters. I don't have those numbers right off the top of my head, but it's huge. It's very large. And so to make it more manageable to work on, I split it in half, and then I split it across like horizontally 4 ways. So it's a total of 8 panels. And so each shelf kind of is its own panel. And that's actually, I feel like, working pretty well. And each panel is like 35 by 95 centimeters. So not small. It's extremely confetti heavy, but it's really neat to see the different elements come to life. So I am using, this is the Pattern Keeper app here on a Fire tablet, which you do have to do a small workaround to get Pattern Keeper on a Fire tablet, but I really like it and I can't imagine doing this project without it. I like that it keeps track of my progress as well, so you can see I've placed 82,262 stitches or diamonds of 402,000. I broke 20% completion on this canvas yesterday, and I've done a lot of diamond painting on it today. Like that's almost 2,000 diamonds that I've placed just today. Yeah, it's definitely a slower pace of project because it's pure confetti and you're just reading a chart and putting the diamonds on the canvas, but I'm finding it to be really rewarding and it's a really fun challenge. It's kind of like a bucket list type thing for me. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to power through and complete this panel. I'm not going to finish it by the end of the month, unfortunately. It's just not possible, but it would be pretty darn close, and it's really tempting to finish off this panel. But we'll see. As far as, like where the materials are from, so I got the canvases and the diamonds from Evermoment. I'd ordered them a while back, almost a year ago at this point is when I had initially ordered them. But so the drills are resin, and Evermoment now has poured glue blank canvases, and yeah, so that's where the materials are from, and the chart is from Heaven and Earth Designs. And then I'm trying to use some new and like different materials. Again, I'm trying to make sure that in my WIP and Chats, I'm using a variety of different accessories from a variety of different shops, both for your guys' sake and for mine. I don't want to get into a rut with only using the same accessories all the time. want to make sure I'm supporting a variety of small shops and staying up to date with like what's out there. So this pen I haven't used yet, but this is from Mad Wood Turning. It was actually a custom order that I had placed, and it came in, and I showed it in a recent small shop haul, and I just haven't actually used it yet, but it's got a dragon in it, and I'm really happy with it. I decided I was going to use some of Diamond Art Club's stainless. Are they stainless steel? Are they metal tips? Their metal single placer and one of their metal multi-placers. So these are specifically from the Diamond Art Club packs. The multi-placer does look maybe a tiny bit wide, but I think it is modeled after the skinny plastic multi-placers that they otherwise use. So this is a 7 placer. I tend to usually use like more of like a 10, 11, 12 placer as a multi-placer, but since this is so confetti heavy, I thought, well, you know, I really think that you know what, I meant to put this the opposite way. I meant to put the single placer down at this end and vice versa. How much of a pain is it going to be to move it? Yeah, it'll be okay. They were a little loose to fit in here, so I did wrap some washi around both placers to kind of help them sit a little, you know, without wiggling too much. But anyway, so as far as what I'll be using in them, I thought since this is new to me, the single placer in particular, I thought I'm just going to go back to basics and use like a basic heart wax. But I thought I was digging through my wax caddy of different waxes and buddies I have. I was like, I don't know if I've ever tried. Oh, I see one. It has been used once. I randomly got some purple heart wax that I decided to order from Diamond Drills USA. And I thought, well, let's go back to like kind of a basic heart wax for the single placer since I'm using a totally different kind of tip. And then this is Rivet Stick It, which is a scented putty from Crafts with Crashly. And I was actually looking, I'm annoyed with myself a little bit. I have some of their release paper that has the really fun print on it. They have a ton of variety right now. And I couldn't find it, so I'm just gonna have to go order some more. But yeah, they released scented putty around, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago. And I haven't used it, I think, since the summer. And I mentioned in last week's WIP and Chat that one of the things I really want to do is make sure I'm coming back around and trying different waxes and putties in different climates and seasons, because sometimes they will work better in certain climates or seasons than others. So I thought I haven't used this since in like colder weather, and so I wonder how it's going to work in these stainless steel tips. So I'm going to be kind of trying a couple of new things here at once. Those are kind of deep. Okay, pinch off a little bit more. I don't know what this one is scented like. It's not on here. It smells like something sweet, like vanilla or marshmallow or something. I don't know. That is sitting in there well. It's a little soft. Now, I always say, like, you're never going to hear me say, like, definitively, like, this is the best wax, or this is the best putty, or this is the best pen, or this is the best tray. Like, you might hear me or deduce that I have certain personal favorites, but you have to keep in mind that it's going to be totally subjective, because highly subjective anyway, because diamond painting is so different depending on the person. Some people are heavy pressers, some people are lighter pressers, or hold their pen a particular way or something like that. So take that with a grain of salt. You know, don't take it to heart if I'm like, oh, this is the thing that I tend to gravitate towards myself. Oh, also, other accessories I'll be using. This is a Muni-Made tray. It's one of the Magic. Which one is this one called? Is this Mother Earth? I can't remember. It's one of the older versions. Like, I had bought that one a while back. They've updated their trays since. Did that go in there okay? Yeah? We'll find out. Find out how that goes. And then this was actually a gift from a viewer. Was this from Robin? The sticker is from, oh no, Awesome Doodles, spelled AUSOME. The owner is actually autistic and has a really nice variety of like products. And I had showcased some of the stickers and keychains from that shop on a small shop haul a while back. And then one of my viewers, I guess I think it was Robin, had gotten one of these and used resin to turn it into a cover minder for me, and I love it so much. So while I'm not actually using a minder with this cross stitch conversion because of the nature of it, I thought, well, that's still something I'll just have hanging up in the corner because I think it's a good reminder. But anyway, keep this handy, and we're 10 minutes in and I have not placed a single diamond yet because I just have been doing a bunch of setup. So let me pick a color to start with and we will be off. So hi, how are you guys doing today? Sorry for the little bit of a slow start. Sometimes that's just how it goes. And I am maybe a little bit slower to sort of get started myself anyway because I am coming off of a migraine. I did end up having to take some migraine meds around dinner time and then went upstairs to have like just some kind of quiet, dark time in our bedroom while Adam hung with the kiddos. And what usually happens is I'll take a migraine med and then go into a cool, dark room and end up falling asleep. And then when I wake up, it takes my brain a little bit to turn back on. But usually, like between the medication and taking a little cat nap there, that tends to do it for me and get rid of the migraine. So that's what happened. But yeah, I'm feeling just a tiny bit foggy now. But the migraine is gone. I have been dealing with some a little bit more frequent migraines lately. Like this is, I think, this might have been the only time this month I've had to take medicine for it, like my actual prescription migraine meds for it. I think it's likely just stress related. Heat is typically a major trigger for me, and so I tend to see some relief in the winter months like we have right now. Okay, I'm having a little bit of excess. Okay. And yeah, so I think it's probably mostly stress related. And I think that sometimes working on this cross stitch conversion, like, I don't know if it's looking at like the screen or I just tend to work on it for more extended periods of time because I want to feel like I'm making progress and stuff like that. I feel like I am a little bit more headache prone when I spend more time working on this project. So I don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys have had a really good start to your week so far. I love how it sort of accidentally turned into a thing where Mondays became the day that I regularly put up WIP and Chats. And now I really look forward to it. And if for some reason I miss a Monday, I usually hear from you guys. So I think that maybe you guys look forward to it as well. And it's a nice chance to just kind of start the week and catch up and whatnot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What has been going on? So it's been good to be back to this cross stitch conversion project. I had finished up my last WIP, which was the Choose a Fate kit from Jaded Gem Shop. And I was like, okay, now let me go back to my cross stitch conversion project. Kind of feeling like, well, maybe I will, as I finish projects, like I'll use that as a chance to try to move you guys out of the glare. Like that's a good opportunity to go ahead and then work on my cross stitch conversion for as long as I sort of feel like it. And then I just kind of found some momentum with this kit, and I kept setting like little mini goals for myself. Like I was like, well, let me work on this. Like as long as I'm still in the mood to work on it, let me get to 20%, and then maybe I'll go ahead and kit up my next project. Well, I hit 20% yesterday, and I wasn't totally ready to kit up my next project. I was hoping to film a post review or two so that I could then kit down a couple of kits that are taking up storage containers, so then it would be easier to kit up my next project. I have lots of spares, but did I forget to clear that? I did forget to clear that color. But still, I have a few different kits that are taking up storage that I need to make space. So I was like, well, I'll just keep working on my cross stitch conversion project instead. And now I'm kind of like, well, the end of this panel is in sight. Like I could probably finish this panel definitely within the next week, probably within the next few days, depending on how much time I really spend on it. So I don't know. I'm not totally sure what I'll do, but there are some other kits that I'm excited to work on. I'm really excited to work on that Rainbow Dreams kit from Craftably that Kate had gotten for me. I unboxed last week. I'm really feeling like I want to be supporting and loving on small shops right now, like Craftably, who's really been going through it. And like Jaded Gem Shop has been going through it as well. So you guys probably heard me talk about Craftably and what they've been dealing with and how the community rallied around them. Well, I was really moved to see that the community once again rallied around our own when Jaded Gem Shop had flooding in their office space, and she lost like equipment, like electronics, and a lot of her supplies were damaged, including some kits that she had in stock. And so Jade actually lives like less than an hour from me. We both live in Southern California, and Southern California has been hit with just really terrible rain, like, which I know in a lot of parts of the country, like having heavy rainstorms is just sort of part of how it goes. And so it sounds like, well, like, why was that a big deal? The problem is that the infrastructure isn't there to support it. Like California, like the way that houses are built, the way that roads are built, the way that everything is designed is not designed for extreme weather, like unprecedented flood causing rains and storms. And so Jade has talked about it at length about kind of what happened, but there was some flooding at the house that was basically that they're in the process of building, that was HQ for Jaded Gem Shop. And so yeah, that really sucks. But I have just been really moved to see how the community has once again like rallied around a small shop, a small business that's struggling. And I have actually, like, I was stunned in a really good way to see how many of Jade's artists, like the artists that she licenses from, how many of them were posting about it. Because I don't know, like and I think Jade was surprised by it too. You don't necessarily expect that big of a response, I feel like, I don't know, from the artists themselves. And it was several of them. It wasn't just one or two. And I tried to point out to Jade, like, I hope you're taking this to heart. Like, this is an amazing representation of how your artists feel about you, and how, like, you clearly have a really positive relationship and like rapport, and even just like business wise, like, you are doing right by your artists. Like, you're doing a wonderful job, and don't take that lightly. Like, that's not something that you would see every day. And I am such a sap, quite honestly. Like, I am completely moved by like the sappy commercials and like the like, oh, we rallied around each other and we saved the day. Like, I am a total and complete sap. Like, it actually made me feel like teary in a good way to be to see that, like, once again, this is like the best of what this group of crafters with common goals, like, what we do is we show up, and rally is really just the best word that I have for it. And I saw it happen with Craftably, and I saw it again with Jaded Gem Shop, and I was like, this is what we should be about. And yeah, no, it gave me the warm fuzzies for sure. So hopefully both Craftably and Jaded Gem Shop are going to be able to make it through everything that's been going on with both of them and bounce back. And so I'm looking at, I need to place an order myself to help support Jaded Gem Shop. She's running a sale, much like Craftably was. But yeah, Jaded Gem Shop is running a sale for 20% off if you use the code flood sale. And that's just helping them recover from their flood losses. And yes, they, are exploring all the avenues that they can as far as, insurance and stuff like that. But still, it's, I don't know that it's going to be quite that simple. So I'm not going to speak to it because I don't know for sure. Sorry, my allergies are acting up a bit. That could also be a little bit of my migraine trigger going on. Yeah, we've been affected by the rain as well. Thankfully, we haven't had any like flooding or anything like that where we're at. But my gosh, the rain has been just so incredibly heavy, and I think it's kicking up like some different like allergens and stuff, and so that's been kind of irritating. But you know what? I could deal with some allergies. That is small potatoes. I saw that there were a couple of posts that went up in some local groups that I'm in that were like, okay, avoid this section of freeway. Someone was like, they literally saw like 30, 25, this is probably an exaggeration, but several cars had gotten flat tires on this particular stretch of highway, and it turned out that it was because the rain damage, again, this is an infrastructure thing, the rain had caused damage to the roads, and there were just these massive potholes, and people were just ending up with flat tires left and right, and it took them, I don't know, I guess it took the city or whoever a minute to get someone out there to close off those lanes or something. I don't know. But that's what I mean when I say like it's almost just like a pure infrastructure thing. Like our roads are designed and built for high traffic and hot sunny days, not this business. But we had a lot of hail. My kids were like really intrigued by that. Connor was like, is that hail? And so I was explaining like what hail is, and it was, yeah, I mean, I guess it was a learning experience, but yeah, I was like, yeah, no, that's what we call hail. And that was fun. Micah kept wanting to go out and play in it, and I'm like, no, it's freezing out there. Stay inside, stay warm. Don't bring those ice chips inside, child. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. But yep. I did have to go to the store and get the kids both new jackets because somehow both in the same week they both misplaced their jackets, and I'm guessing they got left at school. I honestly don't know where else they could have ended up, but I was like, it's too cold, we're supposed to have too much rain, like no, I'm gonna have to go get you guys replacement jackets. Like this is, so I just realized I should turn down the brightness so it's not messing with the camera and with you guys too much. So yeah, I had to go to the store and get them new jackets, and was just like, I don't want to be spending money on this right now, but it's fine. But yeah, so other things that are going on. I can't believe that it's almost March. I feel like everyone has been saying that, but no, for real. Where did February go? It's literally like we're just a couple of days away from March. Bonkers. I do think that there are a couple of events that I'll join in on the community aspect of, like not for prizes, but just sort of to join in on, just in support of, you know, friends and fellow creators and stuff like that. So Lindsay, Emeralds and Fairy Lights, is hosting her annual Emerald Along, and I will do my best to remember to link to her announcement video for that event. She's going to try to do it very laid back. She's got a lot going on with her kiddos, and I'm happy that she's like doing any events, because I know that that's a lot, especially when she's doing all this stuff with her kiddos. I missed a color. What color did I forget to place there? I see it. Okay. So the Emerald Along, and then Mermaids and Magic, which is being hosted by Randy, who's You Can Call Me Butter, and Shay, Crafting with Shay. Both those gals have YouTube channels and are very, very sweet. But gosh, even if I wasn't trying to find a kit that fit these themes, like I'm sure that I have ones that I would just be working on anyway, that would fit these themes. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and join in, use the hashtag and join the Facebook groups or whatever. So I'm going to sort of casually participate in those events, but I'm not like I'm going to be trying like super hard to find kits that fit the theme because I don't know. I like to be able to follow my nose when it comes to kits. I'm kind of a rebel sometimes. Like, don't tell me what to do. Just let me work on what I want to work on. And plus, I don't know, sometimes I get a little bit overwhelmed just by the sheer number of events that there are. And I think I've said this before and I still feel this way, truly, that I think it's wonderful that we have like a ton of events because that means that you're more likely to find something that calls to you, that you're like, oh yeah, no, this sounds like it's definitely my kind of thing. Like I definitely want to do this event because now I'm going to find people that have a similar shared interest and it's fun to like join in for the community vibe and stuff like that. But there just are so much that it's so many at this point that it's like I can't keep up with all of them and I can't try to participate in all of them. If you didn't know, if you're curious to see like what events are going on, you want to find out about like what's out there, what might be something I want to participate in. There are 2 sources that I can recommend to you. There's actually a Facebook group called Diamond Painting Events run by a gal named Kay who puts in a ton of work and time to keep the information in there up to date, but I will link to that below, and it's got all the events by month and links to like if there are announcement videos and who's hosting it and stuff like that. And there's also a spreadsheet that I think the Instagram account is Mr. and Mrs. Dubé Diamond Paints, but that's on Instagram. So in case you're not on Facebook, there is a resource on Instagram as well, and I'll try to remember to link to that. I am thinking about my own events, which I've only ever hosted 2. And that's been Summer with the Masters and Drills and Chills. And Summer with the Masters and Drills and Chills are both happening again this year. I don't have official details just yet. That will all be coming, and but yes, those are both happening. I do want to maybe get some info out there about about Summer with the Masters soonish for people that might want to order customs. Just because sometimes there's a longer turnaround time with customs, and I don't want to leave anyone. I don't want to leave anyone up a creek if they're like, oh wait, I want to join in on this, but I don't have time to order a kit. The good news is though, a lot of companies are now offering like prepackaged old Masters kits because that genre has gotten more popular. I'm not going to say it's because of Summer with the Masters. I'm sure that like this is just one of those things that naturally would have come about because people are always looking for like new kinds of artwork, new genres of artwork. But I do love having an event that highlights and brings attention to that genre. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I will link to the event playlist from past years. But basically, it centers around artwork that is part of the public domain and from before whatever the current copyright year is, which I think this year will be 1928. I have to double check that. It's 1927 or 1928, I believe. And there's some really amazing and unique artwork out there. And I was thinking, like, I want to decide what I want to order for my custom this year. Because each year I've tried to order at least one custom so I can try out different companies that offer customs and stuff like that. And just try to be helpful in that way and give you guys a sense for here's what, this company offers if you get a custom from them. I'm finding myself with a little bit of a dilemma though. So there have been some companies that like people have had consistent problems with as far as ordering customs from or ordering from in general goes. And like there was one in particular that we even had to just flat take off of our recommended list because there were so many issues. And that's not something that Jessica was my co-host the past 2 years, and she might or might not be back this year. But that's not something that she and I ever do lightly. We're kind of like we're not playing customer service. We're not going to get in the middle. We're not going to try to tell people where to buy their stuff from, like let people do their research. We're not looking to cause conflict or anything like that. But it was so bad that we felt obligated to take this company off the list. And there's a second company now that I feel like I cannot possibly in good conscience recommend. But here's the thing is I've tried I've not always succeeded. I acknowledge that like I have, sometimes let my own personal feelings get the best of me sometimes, but I have tried very, very hard to make my channel a space where you're not going to be hearing about like conflict or, for lack of a better word, drama or like I'm not going to try to get in the middle of customer service issues and try to take like a moral standing on like, you shouldn't buy from this company because blah, blah, blah. And instead, I just try to focus heavily on like, here are companies that I do feel confident in recommending and that I feel good about buying from and that I feel good about like suggesting that you take a look at. So I have a little bit of a dilemma this year though, especially with Summer with the Masters, because there just are not that many companies that offer customs right now. And very like when there's multiple companies on that list that I have concerns about, I struggle with being like, where's the line between me not wanting to become that person or become that space where I'm like getting into the negatives. I don't want to be negative. I don't want this to be like a negative space. Like, where's the line between staying neutral and making this that kind of space for you guys where you can make your own decisions? The line between that and feeling like an obligation to say something because I would feel terrible like if you bought from a company and then like you're just like, where's my order? I haven't got my order. I ordered 6 months ago and this was on your list of recommended companies. Like I feel some kind of personal responsibility for that. And that's the kind of extreme that I mean, is it's not just like, oh, the quality is meh on this one thing. No, it's literally like people are ordering and not getting their kits, or they're getting the runaround from like the shop, or like there are actual major quality issues with their kits. So it's that kind of thing. It's not like what I think of as more subjective or small potato stuff. It's like more extreme stuff. Like people are just literally not getting their orders and the owners just have excuses after excuse and are refusing to do refunds. And I don't know, you guys. That's a huge struggle for me because like I said, I very badly want this to be a space where I'm not telling you what to do or making judgment calls on companies. So I don't know. I think that maybe I will just, instead of being like outright don't buy from these companies, maybe I can just be sure to focus on like, okay, these are some companies that I have more, like these are companies that I do suggest as opposed to like buyer beware. I don't know. It's a struggle with you guys to know, because I just so badly don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. So anyway, that was kind of that was my stream of consciousness. That's kind of what's been on my brain about that. Because like I said, I'm thinking of doing that Summer with the Masters, some kind of announcements that if people want to order customs, they can go ahead and work on that. So that they're not stuck with a bad turnaround time or something like that. I have to decide what I want to do though. I'm like, do I go with one of my kind of usual favorites, like a John William Waterhouse or an Alphonse Mucha? Or do I want to try to branch out a little bit? And I do think I maybe want to explore and see what else might be out there. I'm not going to feel guilty about like my personal favorite Old Masters artists being what I feel like sort of the stereotypical favorites, like John William Waterhouse and Mucha are kind of like the obvious favorites, I feel like. But there's a lot of other really amazing artwork out there and some like a fun, obscure artwork if you do some digging. So I'm like, maybe I should dig a little bit and just see what else is out there that I might be missing. But I need to start doing that now, because here's what's going to happen is I'm going to start looking and start researching. I'm going to open like approximately 20 tabs, either on my phone and or computer, of artwork that I want to like consider being the artwork that I choose to get as a custom this year. And then I'm going to have decision paralysis going back and forth between like, okay, maybe this one will be good because this, maybe this one will be good because that. And do I want to get a crop? Do I want to get, what form do I want to get this piece? Like, do I want to crop it in or do like a full size? Like, so I need to give myself time to like work through that decision paralysis and all of that, which is probably going to be like at least a week of stuff. But I don't want to drop the ball and then be ordering like late, which I kind of felt like I ended up doing last year. And yeah, so I do think that I want to order my custom from Jaded Gem Shop though, just because I haven't ordered a custom from her yet, and I think that she does Old Masters really well. That was kind of the first set of diamond paintings that she did were Old Masters kits. They're stunning. They're so stunning. I feel like her render style and everything just totally suits the Old Masters artwork. So I'm looking at doing that. As tempting it is to do like a cross stitch conversion of an Old Masters, like I don't think I can add that to the mix. I want to be able to have kits that I can more easily complete for summer with the Masters. So sorry, I'm shifting you again so that you're not getting glare on the section I'm working on. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go explore a little bit. What else? I guess I can give you guys some general family updates, what's been going on with the kiddos and stuff like that. So, the kids are doing well. Everyone is healthy for the moment, which I will always take. Connor, I think this week I think it's supposed to be his last week of the process of mainstreaming into his general ed class. He's moving out of a self-contained special ed class and into just a gen ed class. He'll continue to have supports and have an IEP and everything like that, but he's going to be mainstreamed in a regular classroom. And they've been working on that over the past month, and I believe that this is the last week of that transition. So I don't know if that means that on Monday next week will be his first day like fully mainstreamed with no special ed. I'm going to reach out to his teacher just to confirm and to check in and everything. But that's exciting. I feel like he's doing well, and I hope that it's not going to be too sad that like he's not going to be in a class with like the friends that he's made in special ed, but he's been making good friendships in his gen ed class. But you know, of course, just as a parent, you worry and you question a lot, like, is this like, am I making the right choice for my child? Is like, are they fitting in? Are they feeling like adjusted and supported? Like, how are their emotions doing? And yeah, so I feel like he's doing well, and I just, I'm hoping that things continue to go as smoothly as they can. But that's exciting, and I hope that it continues to be a good adjustment. He'll get to keep riding the bus through the end of the school year, which is good. But yeah, that should be good. Micah is doing really well. He is he's doing really well with school in particular. He switched over a few weeks back. He switched over to, they finally launched another TK class, another special ed TK class. This one with a later start time, which we've been trying to get Micah into one of the later start times, like basically since the beginning of the school year, when we realized that early start time just was not at all going to work for him. And we're really, really benefiting from not just the later start time, but because it is a newer class, it's much smaller. And so the ratios are really small. Like right now, Micah is one of 6 students in his class, but there's still there's multiple aides. The teacher, I think that she's pretty young and maybe new, or maybe she just feels like she has a lot of capacity, because we get these cute little daily update charts and send home sheets every day, and she's very communicative, and it just feels like there's a lot more margin in there for them to give the kids a lot of individual attention and stuff like that. And so I think Micah is doing really well with that. We are hoping that we will hear back from the speech therapist this week with whatever they've proposed for his regular like speech therapy sessions. I did get like an automated call from our insurance early in the week last week saying that an authorization had gone through. So I'm guessing that whatever the speech therapy team had submitted, like that had finally gone through, but then they have to like get him on the schedule and stuff. So if I don't hear from them sometime tomorrow, I'll give them a call and follow up and see. But Mike has been talking a lot more lately, which it's really funny. This seems to happen whenever he has like an assessment at school, or in the past when we've had him assessed for like speech therapy stuff. It's almost like, I joke and say that it's like he takes that as like a prompt to be like, oh, you wanted me to talk more? Okay, here we go. And then it's like he just... We see kind of a speech explosion, and that kind of is what has happened the past few weeks, and it's been really fun. He has been using a lot more words where like spontaneous expressive speech, and it's things that like these are the kinds of milestones that parents I feel like are typically celebrating with their kids. If their kids don't have special needs, parents are celebrating these milestones like before their kids are turning 2. Micah turns 5 next month, and like literally I am celebrating the fact that like he is now saying no, like appropriately. He's learned how to say no, to express a need or an opinion that he has. And for a kiddo that's speech delayed and awaiting an official autism diagnosis, like that is a huge milestone, that he's able to tell us no instead of just screeching or crying because he's upset. Instead, he's saying no. And today I was floored in a good way because he started to get frustrated by something, and I saw his brain at work, where he started to get upset and screech, and then he paused for a second and then went, I need help, please. And my jaw about hit the floor. Because I've been saying for, years at this point, like trying to coach and model for him and talk him through, like, you don't have to screech. You can say, I need help, please. Like, I feel like that kind of thing just rolls right off my tongue. Like, I just am so used to saying that kind of thing, and to like I'm actually getting a little emotional about it. To see him do that, just, oh boy. I can't place diamonds when my eyes are watering. Who's chopping onions in here? It made me so happy, because I thought, he's realizing that like he has this way that he can express himself and express when he needs something, or when something's wrong, or when he's upset. And it's like we've been waiting and hoping for this for a really long time, and struggled to get him like the kinds of supports that would sort of, we said it's like unlocking it. We know that it's there in his brain, because he's so smart and he understands so much, but it's just like he's not able to express it. And I feel like maybe we're on our way. Like maybe this is just the start. And I don't know if it's in part because he's in like the new special ed program at the school, or something is just starting to click. We're definitely still going to do private speech therapy. He's getting some speech therapy services with school, but it still just is very different than having like dedicated one-on-one private speech therapy in an outside setting as well. So we're still definitely going to do that. But I just felt so encouraged and just like, oh, I will take, especially right now when we've got like a lot of other stuff that we're dealing with, sources of frustration or stress or stuff like that. It's like I will happily celebrate any win that we get with these kiddos. So that was kind of the feel good update. everything's fine. I get emotional about my kids. And especially like seeing them overcome struggles, especially struggles that they've been dealing with for a long time and will probably continue to deal with in some form, you know, for their lives. So that was really happy. And yeah, so, and it's just been, he's been a lot of fun. He's been reading a ton, like basically anywhere, whether we're in the car or, like we've started putting on like captions, like closed captions, subtitles for anything that's on the TV, because Micah loves reading. So yeah, it's like if he sees words like where we're out driving or up on the TV or just anywhere he sees words, he reads them and he wants us to like confirm, especially if there's words that he's not sure of, he'll try. And, you know, he'll kind of say it like a question and we can, you know, and then he'll kind of look to us to confirm, like, is that what that word is? And I think that's so fun. Like I said, I just feel like we know that his brain is totally at work in there and that he understands so much. It's just that expressing himself. And so feeling like he's made some steps, some progress is just makes my heart just so happy for him. So he's been wanting to play with trains a lot lately too. Like his new thing, and this is really fun, is he'll get out this little tote of Brio train tracks. So we have like the wooden train tracks or whatever. And he just wants to build like a whole track across the kitchen floor. And so that's kind of the new thing we're doing each day. And he has lots of fun with that. I'm kind of wondering, like, have they been doing some like train track building at school or something like that that's got his brain like really on building with these Brio train tracks a lot. But that's a lot of fun. And he'll talk about like through the tunnel, over the bridge, and he wants me to like say it back to him. And so I'm always like, over the tunnel and then through the bridge and past the signal. Like it's very cute and very, very sweet. Very, very sweet. Adam is getting lots of film related stuff done. He went to a couple of different like film screenings this weekend, including stuff that like he was involved in, a short film that he was helping with shooting and stuff like that. And he's also been doing a lot of writing. He pulled almost an all-nighter last night, poor guy, working on a script for a guy, and like that's coming together. And he's also still job hunting. We are crossing our fingers. Like there's a couple things that may happen this week. So if you have any positive thoughts to spare again this week, this is definitely a good week to send those our way. So thank you in advance if you do. I feel kind of like we're feeling it. So keep it up, and thank you so much. As far as house updates go, we did, let me see. So when I did the WIP and Chat last week, okay, we wouldn't have had everything confirmed that it was dry yet. But yes, last week, on Tuesday, it was on Tuesday, the guy was able to come back out and checked. Everything was completely dry. He was able to then and there take down all of the plastic sheeting of the containment, and I feel so much less claustrophobic. I feel like we have some breathing room back and some of our space back. Like it has helped a ton. We went ahead and we moved our stove back and plugged that in so that we can cook with it and stuff like that, because the next step is drywall, and the drywall guy is booked out a couple of weeks, and I think that the rain may have also impacted their ability to get some jobs done, and so I need to follow up tomorrow, which is today for when this video is going up, and be like, hi, like, can we get on the schedule, please? Like, I don't want this to go any further out than it has to. So that's on my list to check on, because yeah, that's the next step, is we'll do drywall, and then we can do the cabinets and the kitchen sink the bathroom sink and vanity. So those are kind of the next steps, but the drywall is kind of the big thing. Like that's what's really got to happen before we can do anything else. So just want to get the ball rolling on that. I'm anxious to sort of be able to get things back to normal. Our refrigerator is still kind of off to the side, and of course we don't have a pantry. like the giant cupboard, that like almost ceiling height cupboard that we were using as a pantry, like that's the one that we lost, that we were hoping that we were going to be able to keep, but there ended up being water damage and kind of the base of it, so we lost that. Like I mentioned, I think I mentioned last week, they were able to save like the face of it and the doors and everything. So hopefully we'll just be able to get like the body and then put all of that back on, and everything will still match and all that. But I don't know how long it's going to take, especially if that's like a custom thing. Like I just I'm anxious to get things back to normal, but I have to say that just having the containment, the plastic sheeting gone, we pulled our kitchen table back out, we put the stove back, like just having things a little bit more back to normal has made a really big difference for me and my mental health. It's nice, like now we can all sit at the kitchen table again. I feel like I have the space to, like, I set up my cross stitch conversion and stuff like that again to work on. Just overall, it feels like we have some of our space back, and it feels less stressful and less like things aren't normal to me. So I'm definitely happy for that. As far as me goes, I realized sort of accidentally as I was kind of looking back through a couple of my older WIP and Chats, and there's something that twigged in my brain. I was like, oh yeah, I remember talking about, like, especially how sick we were in December and how frustrated I was because I couldn't hear out of my left ear. And I realized, I'm like, my ear healed up, but it was so gradual that, like, I didn't realize that it was better until I, like, stopped to think about it and realize it. There was a whole thing, like, in December, I was really sick, and then I had, like, it had felt like my left ear was just completely clogged up, and I had done, like, a treatment of steroids and stuff like that, and nothing had really helped, and I was like, I need to go back to my doctor, blah, 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 blah. But then there was a whole thing with insurance. Anyway, long story short, I didn't go back. And then because it stopped gradually bothering me, like, it just didn't occur to me to go back. And then I just had a moment of like, oh, my ear healed. And I didn't realize, like, it was just that gradual. So I'm grateful for that. I'm also feeling very much like coming off of my medication was a good idea, even though, again, it was not planned. Like, I sort of accidentally weaned myself off of my anti-anxiety med. I continue to feel just much better and much more level overall and much more like myself. And I'm glad that that has been the case as well. And I haven't had any other major, like, withdrawal issues, I guess. So I'm glad for that as well. I still see some ways that I think my anxiety is playing out a little bit, but it's much more manageable than, like, the depression symptoms that I was feeling when I was on the medication. So I'll use this as just like your semi-regular reminder from me to do a couple of things. One, to check in, like, if you feel like if you're on some kind of medication for if you're struggling with your mental health, particularly something like anxiety and depression, and you feel like something about it isn't working for you, like, don't be afraid to contact your doctor about a change, because it's possible that you could be on something that makes you feel better. I'm not a medical professional. Don't take this as medical advice at all. I'm just saying that if you're feeling off, you know, try talking to your doctor. I'm also going to go ahead and do this, like, semi-regular plug for, like, if you need a nudge to consider going to therapy, let this be your nudge to consider going to therapy, because frankly, I think everyone should be in talk therapy, because I think we all have baggage and we all have issues that we need to work through, and we don't get to put those on other people. So I think that that's just as important for us to be able to function and, like, just do better for ourselves, like, take care of ourselves the same way that we try to take care of our bodies. Like, we should take care of our mental health. And so if you need a nudge to consider seeing a therapist and going into talk therapy, let this be your nudge. As soon as Adam has a job again, I will be reaching back out to my talk therapist to be like, hi, I'm back. Let's get right back to it. Because being in talk therapy, I think, can just make a huge difference. Though I empathize strongly with the struggle that comes with trying to find the right therapist, like the person that's the right fit, and how huge of an obstacle that can be to like go through the process of like therapist shopping. It's exhausting, and it's the last thing that you want when you're trying to when you're in survival mode for your mental health. And I completely empathize with that, and I'm not at all minimizing whatever you're struggling with on that front. This is just purely like, hey, if you needed a reminder, like take your medication, drink some water, get some sunlight, call your therapist. This can be that for you. I strive to make this a space where it's okay to not be okay. It's all right if you are not in a perfect place as far as your mental health goes. And while unfortunately for the sake of my mental health, I cannot be like a personal support to everyone myself, I can share solidarity. I can be a gentle nudge if you need a reminder through this kind of platform of a WIP and Chat to be like, hey, here's your reminder to go do this thing. I can be that for you. And it's a good reminder for myself too, even. So, yay, mental health check-in. I hope you guys are taking care of yourself. This can be a really difficult time of year for a lot of people as well. So just want to acknowledge that for what it is. There's a page break here, and so I'm having to make sure I select both. I know someone told me in a previous WIP and Chat or cross-stitch update, they're like, you know, you can have it actually eliminate like the page breaks within Pattern Keeper, right? And I was like, yes. For some reason, I wanted to hold on to them, but I should have let it go. I should go in and just take those out. That's okay. Yeah, so those are kind of the all-around updates. So as far as what's coming this week, you'll see some of the usual videos. I have a sneak peek that I'm really looking forward to, and I may kit up and work on that one right away, actually. And I also am my mind's kind of like percolating and working on some other content ideas, because I'm continuing to want to push myself as far as like, let me keep stretching myself and not just stick to all of my usual formats and kinds of videos. Like, what are some other ways that I can do things, and like other kinds of things that I've wanted to do as far as content goes. So I'm working on some kind of like brainstorming and making some lists and stuff like that. And not that I think anything will come of that this week, but it's just, it's on the brain, it's in the works. But I need to do another small shop haul here soon. And yeah, post reviews. Oh, I'm going to have a month in review video this week because it'll be the end of February. So stay tuned. If you don't want to miss any of that, and if you're not already subscribed, feel free to hit the subscribe button. And even if you are subscribed and you really want to be sure you don't miss anything, feel free to hit the bell to be notified when I share those videos. Did I forget to place one there? I sure did. And that'll let you know when I have new videos go live. Both the subscribe button and the bell are just down here on the right. So, anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. Let's see if you made it all the way to the end. What should we do for our emoji today? Oh, just some kind of heart, because we've got our hearts here. Just some kind of heart. We'll go with that. I am on the fence about this all-in-one single metal tip, to be honest. It's a little wide and a little unwieldy for me. Like, I feel like a lot of my drills ended up placed at an angle. So I'm not sure about that. I do like the multi-placer tip, though. And the ribbit stick, it worked okay. You can see it was pretty soft. Like, it did shift off to the side, but I may have overloaded it, or it may just be shifting, like, outside of the placer a little bit, but I liked it. And the purple wax was fine, too. So, we'll take that for what it is. I'll link to these small shops down in the description box below. But otherwise, yeah, I'll go ahead and work up to letting you guys go here. Let me know what you were working on. Let me know how you're feeling. And just, yeah, what you've been up to. And leave a heart emoji if you made it all the way to the end even. So I hope you guys have a really wonderful week. Please be kind to yourself and to others, and take care of yourself as well. And I'll chat with you guys in some videos this week, and of course I'll catch you guys again in next week's WIP and Chat. All right. Have a wonderful week, you guys. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.